by a hair, just by a hair. Real Madrid almost saw Barcelona lift the La Liga trophy at their own stadium. But in the last second, at the very last moment, the unlikely happened. A youth player, barely known, became a hero. And the Bernabeu, which had been drowning in frustration, erupted. If you think football has already shown you everything, wait until you see what happened in this match. So, if you love football and are a cool person who wants to help, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It would really help me a lot. Thank you. Facing Mallorca at the Santiago Bernabeu, the merengues were trailing and the tension started to take over the stadium. But as is tradition at the club, the comeback came. The winning goal came in the 95th minute, in the final play of the match, when it seemed like the draw would be the final result. This victory had a special flavor, not only because of how it happened, but because of what it meant. It stopped Barcelona from becoming Spanish champions on that very Wednesday. Real was on the brink, and a slip-up at home would have handed the title to their biggest rivals. Now Barcelona still depends solely on themselves. If they win against Espanyol today in the Catalan derby, the title will be theirs. Mallorca's goal, still in the first half, felt like a bucket of cold water. The atmosphere grew heavy. It was as if everyone shared the same bitter feeling. Real Madrid was about to hand over the Spanish title in the worst possible way. The conceded goal reflected a distracted team, far from their best. There was a clear collective mistake. Jude Bellingham, always intense, this time failed to track his man. Dani Ceballos, who was attempting to cover, mistimed the play, and Asensio was poorly positioned in defense to react. It felt like the team had lost more than just a goal. It seemed like they had lost control of their own destiny for the season. But football, as always, has surprises for those who fight until the end. And yesterday, Real Madrid decided not to accept defeat quietly. In the final minutes of the match, with the score still tied, Mallorca's players began mocking the Real Madrid fans. They laughed, made gestures, and looked at the stands as if to say, "It's over, the title is Barcelona's." It was a premature celebration, as if the final whistle had already blown and the merengue defeat was inevitable. In a script that seemed written by a drama-loving screenwriter, Jesus Vallejo, a player almost forgotten, entered the field after 232 days without playing. He could have gone unnoticed, like many end-of-game substitutions, but he ended up providing the assist after a long ball from Fran Garcia, finding Jacobo Ramon, a youth player, who appeared in the middle of the box to tap the ball into the net, and Mallorca, who minutes earlier had mocked the opposing fans, had to watch in silence as karma knocked on their door with perfect timing. This is the beauty and cruelty of football. Just when you think everything is decided, it changes the script and delivers glory to those who believe until the end. Jacobo Ramon's goal was one of those moments when time seems to stop. The young player was in shock. He could hardly believe what he had done. It was as if the world around him had disappeared for a few seconds. While he tried to process what had happened, Arda Güler, Vallejo, and other youth players exploded with joy, celebrating as if they had just won the Champions League final. On the other side, veterans like Modric, Valverde, and Mbappé kept their calm. It was a symbolic contrast. On one side, the euphoria of the new generation. On the other, the experienced calm of those who have seen it all. The celebration was a perfect mix of madness and genuine joy. Valverde ran up to Jacobo and started playfully punching him while laughing. Soon after, Bellingham arrived, pointing his finger and laughing, pointing to the body part Jacobo used to score the goal. Even Courtois, who rarely gets involved in long celebrations, was incredibly happy for his teammate. But the one who stole the show was Arda Güler, who simply began pulling the hair of his teammate in a somewhat insane, somewhat comical, but entirely sincere gesture. In the middle of the chaos and emotion, Mbappé was decisive as always. He scored the equalizer with a beautiful play, after receiving a pass from Modric. With this goal, Mbappé reached an impressive 40 for the season, 28 of which came in La Liga, making him the top-scoring debutant in Real Madrid's history in the Spanish league. An enormous feat, which inevitably starts to draw comparisons with Cristiano Ronaldo. But Mbappé has been firm in stating that he seeks more than just numbers. He wants titles. Amid the race for the Golden Boot, alongside Salah and Gyökeres, the Frenchman demonstrates that his focus goes beyond individual awards. He wants to make history with this shirt. Let's quickly see what happened in the post-match interviews.
Se siente uno siendo el héroe de una remontada.
Esto es inexplicable, he soñado esto toda mi vida y al final esta camiseta es hasta el final y bueno, no hay mejor manera que meter mi primer gol casi.
¿Cómo ha sido el gol? Cuéntame, ¿cómo has vivido la jugada?
La verdad que no lo sé, he visto un centro, la ha peinado y digo, va a ir ahí, y pues nada, ha ido y no sé ni cómo, pero la ha metido.
No, muy bien, yo creo que al final es un cacho de pan, Jacobo, muy buena gente. Yo creo que ha tenido un poco de mala suerte con los dos partidos que ha jugado en Leganés, quizás los nervios. Cuando contra el Celta entra, aunque no tiene culpa en los goles, pues te meten dos y no es agradable, pero él sigue trabajando duro y hoy lo he visto con mucha soltura, con confianza y lo ha hecho muy bien y pues claro, seguir creyendo y meter ese gol. Yo creo que todo el partido estuvo muy cerca de rematar algunos y que él mete justo el de final es muy bonito también para la cantera, que hay muchos chicos ahí en la puerta y cuando hay que estar están, como Raúl, como Jacobo, como Gonzalo en Leganés, como Víctor también en Barcelona, que lamentable ha fallado, pero bueno, yo creo que los madridistas tenemos que estar orgullosos de nuestra cantera y seguir creyendo en ellos.
Es muy difícil, pero ahora mismo estáis a 4 puntos del Barcelona. Mañana el Barcelona juega contra el Español. ¿Vosotros creéis que todavía hay alguna opción de poder ganar esta liga?
No, lo que creemos nosotros de hacer lo nuestro, que es de ganar el próximo partido, el último partido en casa y después a ver qué pasa. Obviamente no, el deber de hoy no era de regalar la liga, ellos tendrán que jugar mañana. Creo que en el fútbol todo puede pasar, si ganan le felicitamos y si no, seguimos en la pelea.
While the season still pulses with emotion, Real Madrid's back office is already working at full speed for the future. The club is very close to signing Dean Huijsen, a young centre-back, just 20 years old, who has been standing out at Bournemouth. The transfer is around 60 million euros, a big investment. The arrival of the defender is expected to be fast-tracked because of the Club World Cup, as the window to register new players for the tournament is from June 1st to 10th. And the moves don't stop there. Xabi Alonso is expected to be announced as the new manager, as soon as Carlo Ancelotti officially says his goodbyes. The planning is clear. Real doesn't just want to live in the present, but build a new winning cycle with youth, talent, and identity. Real Madrid avoided humiliation and reminded us why football is magical, from frustration to euphoria in the blink of an eye. And now, I want to know from you, what stood out most to you in this game? The comeback in stoppage time? The goal from an unknown player? The fans' reaction? Comment below, leave your like, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.